Welcome to Kinesiology 111, Section 002. We are now into Week 5, Session 2, and specifically today we're going to be talking about the motor unit. You may recall back to earlier in the term when we were back in the red slides, we had talked about muscles, tendons, ligaments, bones, and the central nervous system. So all of those kind of work together in harmony to make movement happen. And the human body itself, has the bones, which are the levers, the muscles that contract to help move the levers, but something has to work to contract or fire those muscles, and that is the central nervous system. And the central nervous system is, in essence, a communication system, both up and down the body, from the muscles to the brain down to the muscles. But also the central nervous system is like the hard wiring in the body, almost like the electrical system. And if you kind of look at how this all works together, and how training and fitness works, you can't discount one or the other. You have to include them into the whole process. So when a muscle is asked to contract, the body evaluates what the heck it's going to pick up or what it's going to move, and it sends an electrical impulse down through the central nervous system, zap, to contract the appropriate muscles needed to pick up the big box of books or the big box of feathers. The interesting thing is, your body will recruit the appropriate amount of muscle needed to pick up an item. So there's times where you might go to pick something up off the table and you think it's super heavy and you almost throw the box over your head. Well, that's because your body has over-recruited because it believed that there was like a box of bricks and it was actually an empty cardboard box. So what's interesting is, as that electrical pulse goes down the central nervous system to the muscles, there are a greater number of motor units that are recruited to pick up or move the muscles, or a smaller amount. And when you look at the body, muscles like vastus lateralis and the glutes, big leg muscles, big muscles in the backside of the body, those are big muscle groups that move a ton of weight. And you might have one motor unit that includes a ton of muscle fiber, whereas one motor unit for the eye will be very small. So motor units are kind of dictated by, and the nerve root that fires the muscle is dictated by what specifically the muscle is required to do. And your body has this communication system that happens up and down the central nervous system. So your body goes to move that box and it's too much weight, or maybe in this case, it's you've not recruited enough muscle fiber. Your body will then say, no, recruit more muscle fiber. And so you have this kind of communication that happens up and down the central nervous system all the dang time. And one side is all about recruitment and the other side is all about communication. So the best way to kind of wrap yourself into this, and we're going to stay in 100 level stuff because we need not go any deeper than this, but believe me, this stuff can get easily into 600, 700 doctoral level stuff. All I'm worried about for you guys is when you talk about the motor unit, think through how you evaluate how much weight you need to move on a particular exercise. How heavy is the weight? How much force will you need? And how explosive do you need to be? And further, going back a couple presentations, is it a single joint exercise? Is it a multi-joint exercise? How many muscles all have to come to the party to make that magic happen? That all happens with communication through the central nervous system to the muscles. So it's not just like one-dimensionally muscles contract and bam, that's it. No, there's more to it. So when you design a strength training program, and I often guide people to do this when I'm talking with new clients, it is best, absolutely the best, to undershoot on the front end of a training program. The reason is muscles, tendons, ligaments, bones, even the central nervous system all adapt to a training stimulus at different and inherently different rates. More often than not, when you look at a strength training program and the gains that are accomplished in the front end of a strength training program, and this is kind of an important point, those strength gains have less to do with packing on tons of muscle. Instead, those strength gains actually have more to do with the body gets better at recruiting correctly, meaning recruiting the correct muscles and the correct and appropriate amount of muscle fiber to move that box of bricks, to bench press that bar. So realize on the initial stages when you start working out, it's best to undershoot the weights so you don't injure yourself in terms of muscles, connective tissues, and bones, because your central nervous system will actually ramp up faster than those because the coordination gets better. So undershoot first, add weight second, let that communication happen up and down the central nervous system, and you'll see You go from a dumbbell bench press where your hands are kind of wobbling all over the place, those little muscles across the wrist, across the elbow, and then the shoulders work better at stabilizing, and that allows you to then push more weight down the road. Got it? Now go get yourself a workout.